Good evening and welcome to Monday Night Live. No, welcome to Open Studio, the other thing. How are you all doing? Happy Wednesday to you all. I lied to you all. The reason why I said Open Monday Night Live, whatever, is because I made an announcement this week that I wasn't going to be able to pre-record this video before Wednesday because I was on a trip back to New England. But I lied to you. Shockingly, I got it done. So there we go. So it's not live, but I'm in the comments with you, so you guys can yell at me in the comments if you'd like for the premiere. And then if you feel so inclined to yell at me after the fact, you can do that too. Just leave it in the comments. That's great. All right. We are moving on. So we did that big building last time, which is fantastic. Super happy about that. So we're just going to move next door to that. I don't know what's going on there. It's the first time I'm working on it this week, so I don't really know what's going on there. But we'll find out in a second. I have this copy. It's kind of cut in a weird way. Oh, it's cut right against the edge here. So it's lined up perfect with the edge. But I'm going to use that because I've got some stuff in there. So what I'm concentrating on this one again when I do this, when I try to figure out, what do you cut out in this big mess, right? The way I determine it is what I can see. So I've got this block of buildings that's kind of gray, and then each, wow, that knife blade is bent. No, it isn't. There's paint on it. Anyway, then there's bits of white on the roofs, but see this big area in the background that's like dark all the way across, like this little goes all along the river here. That's what I'm going to do because I've got this road here, I think. Yeah, I've already got that kind of in there too. What do you know? So then I'm really going to concentrate on this area down here because I've got some of it, but I don't have all of it. And then whatever's going on in there. So I think I'm going to cut out the dark. I think that's going to be a good way to go. Against the river, I'm pretty much done. I still want to jump across the river, but I'm not going to. Oh, there's a road going back there too. Oops, sorry. There's something going on back there. That's cool too. All the stuff, you figure out when you're doing it. All right, so let's start with that. There is no soapbox again because I have no idea what's up. I literally drove back in from New England yesterday for the wedding of my good friend Keith Hansen and his new lovely bride, Lily. And so that was a lot of fun. I've never been to Newport, Rhode Island. Very fancy place. It's known for the giant mansions that are there that you can take tours in, some of them, the breakers and all that. Yeah, it's just a very cool place. The downtown vibe reminded me a lot of Provincetown down the Cape, which I love a lot. Provincetown is all the way down the Cape of New England, Massachusetts, sorry. And it's very eclectic and very cool. A lot of art galleries, that kind of thing. Newport, the shops and stuff, what I could see, because we didn't get to spend too much time because we were doing all the wedding stuff. But what I could see had that kind of coastal vibe. Nothing's like Provincetown. It's unique, but that's the vibe I got anyway. So it was a good time, but it's kind of a hit and run trip. I left Thursday, the wedding was Friday, and I got back on Monday. So I'm cutting out this whole area just because I want to make sure I've got it accurate. I know I've got it in here, but I want to make sure I really got it well now. Like I just kind of blocked it in quick before. So we're going to make sure we got it this time. So again, I know I already painted this or got this once, but we're going to make sure we get it right. Yeah, so Keith Hansen is a great friend and just a great all-around painter. He does primarily cars and motorcycles, but he can do just about anything, and he's a great pinstriper too. And I've been friends with him for quite a long time. I think I started hanging around his shop in 2005. We drafted him to teach a big class that we were having at Bear Air, and ever since then, I just never left his shop. I just hung around. He's a great guy. So we've become really good friends. So when he got married, it was nice. I ended up being in the wedding, which is great. So it was a lot of fun. But it was a long trip for a short trip. You know what I'm saying? Everything went great. The drive was fine. A little bit long on the way out. But not bad. All right, so there, I've got both sides of this now. The only thing that's left in the middle is that group of buildings. So I think I'm good. Again, I so badly want to just block in some of the stuff across the river, but I'm going to resist that so we can kind of do what we were going to say. We'll do the river next once we get all this done, and then we'll move across the river. I think that's everything. Should get me going. Oh, I was smart today. You guys didn't even have to remind me to move the painting. Oh, man. So even though I'm road weary, I'm not that road weary. Great. So again, I've got some of that in here already, but this will just help me kind of make sure that I get the whole thing in there. Oh, as I smash it all around. All right. Yeah, no super soapbox tonight, but hopefully we'll think of something. Yeah, see, I'm missing a bunch of stuff in there, which is great. That's fine. That's what we want. We'll do this right. Got the banana road right there down the bottom, which you can just barely see. So I'm lining that up, and I'm using the big building we just did last week as the other little anchor point. Everything else will be good. Oops, I shifted it with my hand. Oh, did I get that right? Nope. Oh, I did. Why am I keep moving it? It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. All right, so something fun that just happened that I haven't even had a chance to do yet. I'm going to start a new every once in a while video, a lot like the Model Monday, where I was doing the Model Monday, but I was doing it whenever I could, and I haven't done one in a while, but I will get back to it. But another video idea that I wanted to do was some sort of mailbox video, P.O. box. I have a P.O. box, and some people have been amazing and send me some really, really cool stuff. And I wanted a place that I could kind of open that stuff up and show you guys what people sent me. So I have a really cool package waiting for me for the first one, and it's from Cheese Grits and NyQuil, or you will find him on YouTube at... my brain isn't working. Editing Steve just posted it up. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my head? I don't know. Western Massacre Lock Sport? Yes, Western Massacre Lock Sport. What is wrong with me? And Patrick, Cheese Grits and NyQuil is a buddy, and he does all kinds of stuff. He does everything. He's I don't know, he does everything, man. It's awesome. So he's also a lock picker, and I found that out because if you go to his channel, you will see that he picks locks with a bunch of other people in that community. So it's a lot of fun. So I started to get really interested, and he said, well, I will set you up. So my first P.O. box opened will be what he sent me, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's like a primer pack for people who don't know anything about lock picking. So it doesn't have anything to do with airbrushing and everything, but you know, we cross, you know, over. He also airbrushes and does a bunch of stuff like that. So anyway, that's new. All right, I've got black in here. Just going to kind of, there's already stuff in there, so I'm just going to kind of hit this lightly, because I'll use, again, I'm going to use this just as a guide, even though some of this is really dark in the end. I want to try to figure it out on the fly. Plus that template didn't hold down very well because I hit it. Did I do that? Sound like Urkel. All that extra stuff, did I do that? I think I did. I think I hit it too much. Oh well, it's not going to matter. Not going to matter. We're going to start in this section. We'll see how far we can get. We got this whole little block to go before we're done with this bank. That's insane. All right, where am I going with this? I need to pull up. You have the reference photo up now, but I do not yet. So we're going to do that real quick. I have this poor tablet that I've been using for a few years now, and it's funny, it's only my art tablet. It's the only one, you know, I only use it here, really. And you know, it's got paint on it, but I've got like 6 pictures on it and no apps. It's funny. It's literally like my Canon camera that only does these close-up views that you're seeing now. It's a beautiful camera, the Canon that I have for this, but it only sits here on the workbench. It works for you guys, which is kind of fun. Let's pick a brush, any brush. Okay, we're going to start with the big building. It'll be easiest for me to kind of branch off from there. I've got that gray building in there, which, looking at it, I've got it a lot darker than it really is. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start there. I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. And to lighten this up, I've already got the windows in and everything. So essentially, instead of painting the windows on this little guy, I'm just going to use light gray and paint in between them. Now, I don't know if I can hit the mark on those lines though, so we might have to do a little bit of jazz here, but let's see what we can do. That's not good gray at all, is it? Need something that flows a little bit better. Here we go, try this. No, not that either. All right. I think it's 2 things. I think it's the brush and the paint. Let's try a new brush and we'll see if we can get a little bit of paint first. Ugh, this paint is dried out. Well, it's weird. It feels okay, but it feels so goes on like it's dried out. See how it blobs off all right, I'm gonna just cut my losses because I know the gray will paint a lot worse than the black. So I'm gonna go like this, and I'm just gonna repaint the windows in because I know I can nail that. I don't know why. Maybe it's probably because there's more white in this than black, and white doesn't really want to do these kind of really fine, thin details. But the black does. So we're just gonna kind of get that lightened up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like totally blown out. In fact, you can kind of still see those windows in there, but that's fine. That's fine. All right. I'm going to let that dry, so I'll move on while that's drying. All right, so I don't have an idea yet set in stone for the next open studio. I know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be painting a pen, like an actual writing pen from the good folks at London Pen Company. And they are not in London, UK. They are in London, Canada. So, so we're going to do that. But I don't know exactly what I'm going to put on it yet. I've done one for them before. It's kind of a cool space scene, like Earth type of orbit thing. Which I was really happy with, but we're going to do another one. So the nice thing about that project, let's put these windows in real quick. Yeah, that's better. It's lighter now. I'm happy with that. The nice thing about that project is it's a lot like the razor blade, the Mustang razor blade. Pens, just because of their sheer size, the real estate, they don't take as long as something like this. Now, they could take a while, depending on what we're going to put on it, but we're not going to do anything like this crazy. It's going to be something cool, but not anything this involved. So what that means is, when we get that started, it's not going to be like an, 80 episode kind of thing. It'll give us all a little bit of a break. You know what I'm saying? After this guy, I don't know how many episodes this one's going to go all together, but considering where we're at, and we're on what, episode 68, I think. I would not be surprised if this is 100 episodes, which is fun. What I'm doing right now, you can't see it, but there's paint all over the handle of this brush. And I've just taken a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I'm just cleaning off the paint off the handle. That's just because it's sticky and it's annoying, and normally, my paintbrushes, it's okay if they have tons of paint all over them, like this one. But this one was sticky, and I can't deal with that. All right, how are those doing? Good. Good. All right, So I'm moving on, moving on. This feels like there's something missing here, like another gray line. You can see how far this is off right here? I think I did. I think I missed an entire gray line, which means this building is wrong too. I've done it twice now and it's still wrong. I think I'm right. I think this building should come out to here. Well, poo. All right then. Mix up another light gray. Here we go. Not bad though. I mean, you know, considering. We made so much progress last week. This week we're gonna like finish one thing. All right, so I got to get the whole side of that building. For some reason I wasn't really thinking. So anyway, that goes right up the side like these. And no, to answer your question, I have not got the wood for this yet. That's got to be a priority. All right, so let's do this. You're watching this episode on the first week of October. I have to have the wood by the middle of November. Let's do that. Like I said, I mean, I don't know if there'll be. I don't think there'll be 40 more episodes of this. Like I said, this thing hit 100. I don't think so. However, you know, I want to have the frame done in advance. I don't want to be skipping weeks because we're waiting for wood to come in or anything. There we go. Thicken that white up a little bit. Now I've got that done. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. All right. Again, I don't know what kind of wood I'm going to pick for this. I think it's going to be a lot of whatever I can get my hands on. Again, I need some sort of Japanese hardwood. So maple and oak is a good choice, you know, that kind of thing. But I just got to get it. Why is it still got paint on it? What's all of my fingers? It's still sticky. I don't know. All right. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what kind of wood we're going to get a hold of. I have all the glass for it. I have the background stuff. I have sand and stone from Tokyo, which, again, what I'm going to do for you guys is I won't spend, you know, I won't show you guys every single second of the frame being put together, but I will have one whole episode just on the frame. It'll just be edited, you know, where, of course, you know, these videos are not edited. You see everything. The framing one, again, I've done it before, so you can kind of go back and look at like the Mustang painting. I've showed everything. Well, pretty much everything. But yeah, we're not going to do that for this one because there's going to be so many episodes anyway. A little bit of black, and guess what we get to do? We get to do those windows again and again. But I feel better now. That's fixed. And as now I've got my head wrapped around this idea for a show, you know, this show with all these landscapes, I'm really excited about it, and that's just what I needed. You know, now it's like the fire is set under this one. I feel like this line has to be darker too. This is dangerous because it's so thin and already in, but we'll see what we can do. That's lovely. Oh, that's lovely. No fixing allowed. Yeah, so my trip to Rhode Island, my trip to Newport, I will do a painting of Newport. I already have the photo, and yes, I got sand from Newport. But I'm not going to do the mansions. That's what everyone does. You know, they do like, they just finished the painting of Breton Point, which is really cool. It's not going to be that because I've already done a painting of that. This is where the other building is out here. I've got kind of a different idea. Like I've got a really cool idea, and I just kind of, it popped out all by itself when I was down there, and which is a lot of times how the paintings kind of happen. And it's nice, you know, everyone, that's a big question. It's like, how do you get inspired to do, you know, these things. And with these landscape paintings, they almost kind of do, they come up by themselves. You know, this year I went to LA, and what I did was I made sure I got, you know, a bunch of pictures of LA, and I got asphalt from LA. So I knew that there was going to be an LA painting. But sometimes it's like I have wood coming from New Hampshire. So I have the frame wood coming before the painting is even a thing. I don't even know what I'm going to do from New Hampshire, but I have hardwood from New Hampshire that's going to be a New Hampshire painting. So that's how it usually happens with this series. It's really cool. Lachlan, I knew she was obviously going to Tokyo. I asked her for some stones from, you know, Tokyo, and that's where this painting came from. So again, sometimes it's whatever is fortuitous, you know what I mean? All right, that's drying, so that's good. You can put those windows in now. Oh no, oh dear. Remember I said the paintbrush was sticky? Look what happened up here. Oh no. Will Robinson. That's what was sticky. It was black paint on the handle, which is why I couldn't see it. Well, how do we fix this? Let's fix this, because this is going to bug me as long as I look at it. I don't think this gray is very thick, so I'm going to try a little bit of sandpaper first. Now, obviously, I'm going to spray over this. There's clouds here and everything, so I'm not, you know, I'm not super worried about this because we're going to paint all over it, but still, every time I look at it, I'm going to be like, wah. So we don't want that. All right, so again, this is 600 grit sandpaper. I like these little pads on the foam bits, so it's just sandpaper attached to a little foam block, because you can do cool things like fold it, you know, like round it over, so you can be real kind of precise with it. Because I don't want to get too close to the edge here, because I know, I mean, I don't know how thick the paint really is on the background, but I know it's not thick on the edge, because that's just how paint is. So if I go and sand right off the edge all the time, I'll just burn right through it. So now you're going to see how good opaque black is. And what I mean by that is, okay, so now I've sanded off a bunch of it, but see how it's still stained? It's still on there. That's because this paint is amazing. It's doing exactly what it should be doing. Not only is it, you know, kind of doing the whole, you know, opaque black thing, but it is going down into the layer below and it's biting in. So this stuff really, really holds on well. Great if you're painting, not so good if you're fixing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the curse off of this as much as I can, and I'm going to leave it there. Again, because we have, like, you know, like, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, like we have puffy clouds and, you know, variations in the sky up here. There's another little cloud right there. So it will get covered, but I just don't want to look at a big black splotch for the rest of the painting while I'm working on it. All right, back to it. Okay, where are we at? Still feels sticky. I don't know what's going on here. Weird, weird, weird. Strange days indeed. All right, this white is garbage. I gotta change the palette again. I run out of room again. But what, I should have shaken that. That was dumb. That was really dumb. Oh well. I do have to put those windows back in that building, but we're having some fun with this, so yeah, I should have shaken that. It's such a big difference when you shake it. Well, poo. It'll get by, but it ain't good. I gotta do those buildings, but I'm gonna wait on that. Am I? Yeah, because I can do the other stuff first. Okay. That back up here, angle it this way so I can get those windows in. Yeah, so it's going to be easier than I thought to come up with 20 paintings altogether. And 20, I think, is the number. My unbelievable sister, Katie. Actually, let me get these in first and I'll tell you that story. See how good the black brush is? Oh my God. I wish all the colors were like this, but they're not. Um, my unbelievable sister Katie's a graphic designer and artist and just amazing human being. And so I'm going to work with her on some of the ideas for this show coming up. She always has some great ideas, and she's a great problem solver. And I will fill you guys in as we go. You know, I might make it a thing where I'll keep you guys up on the progress. The only thing, and I'm not like this, you know, like I love to, you know, I'd love to share what I'm doing, and there aren't any secrets really. Like if I figure something out, no matter what, you know, either art or business, you know, I love to pass it on. But I want to make sure that the show comes off the way I intend from the start. So that might mean not sharing too much of it until it actually is in process. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. It doesn't do me any good to be like, oh, hey, I did this and this and this, and then half that stuff fails. You know what I mean? So so there might not be, you know, full transparency while I'm working on it, but there will be by the end. Like I will make that promise to you guys. Like if I do things and they really work and I'm like, oh, hey, that was a great idea, you know, from Katie or whoever, I will definitely, you know, pass it on to you guys too. But I want to make sure it works. All right, this is that big block of whatever. So we'll leave that. I'm not worried about the spitting overspray here because that's all going to be covered by stuff. And I'm going to get gray in there. Yeah, cool. Look at that building. Whatever's going on there. And then this guy is gray. There we go. Gray details up here too. I'm going to wait. I'll do all the section together. I'll just knock out this, what's going on here right now. Yeah. All right, so we got that. That's the banana road. The black is right there. And then there's the, all right, that leads right into, yep, that leads right into those gray buildings. Good. I might be able to do that. What time is it? 2 minutes? I try not to run too far over tonight because I know I ran a while over last time. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much going on. I mean, there is a lot going on in this, but you can't see it. You know what I mean? It's super fine. There's another bridge out here, too. I didn't realize that either. That's awesome. Again, this is what happens when I get into these things. It's like, oh, there's that thing going on there. And I thought that place was just like kind of blah, you know, like I thought it was going to be like just, you know, a bunch of dots or whatever. But then a bridge pops up or a swimming pool, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that's really cool. And I didn't notice it because, you know, I'm trying to take in the whole image, you know? That's lovely. I'll get the bridges and stuff when I do the river. So those buildings we'll do all next week, and then the banana road, and then, yeah, the other stuff. All right, great. Perfect timing. Let's take a look at the whole thing. And here we have it. So yeah, so that little bit right there is what we did. Well, we're getting close. We're going to knock off that. And this whole wedge is going to be done. One thing I did want to show you guys that that you can see now, where you couldn't pick this up in the beginning. You know how I've been like really careful about making sure every building is right and every window is right, and you know, kind of matching them up and doing little cutouts and all that stuff. It's a great thing when it comes to identifying the buildings, right? Because I've been able to pick out the buildings and show them to you as we go. But one of the bonuses that you get out of this, and it's really one of the big reasons I do this, is by putting the buildings in exactly the right spot and making sure that I pay close attention to how the shape of the building is it gives you things that would normally be very hard to plan for. What I mean by that is perspective. So these buildings down here at the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the canvas or aluminum, You're in this tall building and you're looking down at them. So you're seeing mostly the roof going on here, right? And all these buildings. But as you move across, you're looking more and more towards the horizon, more flat across. So even though these buildings are really, really hard to make out, I've been accurate with them. So the roofs are getting smaller and thinner as we go up. And that gives this whole thing a feeling of depth that would be so hard to do unless you were paying attention to all that. You know what I mean? Like when I said before, you could be real like expressionistic and just kind of dab in paint in a pattern to make all the buildings. But by really concentrating on the actual shapes that they're forming on this micro level, you get this feeling of depth in here. You get this feeling of perspective. Again, that's nearly impossible to grab after the fact. So that's one of the good reasons to, you know, kind of pay attention to it. All right. So you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe. That'd be awesome if you are, if that's a free way to help us out. It means a lot. If you want to leave a comment, if I said something that you didn't, you know, wanted more clarity on or expanded on, please do that. If you have an idea for a soapbox, you can drop it in the comments too. I do have a post, but I check all the comments anyway, so you can leave it anywhere and I will get to it. If you'd like to be more of a financial supporter of the channel, you can do what these lovely people have done and become a member here. You get early access to Time Lapse Tuesday, and you also get a 10% discount on my website all the time. All right. So for Steve Leahy and Through Lachlan's Eyes, I will catch you guys all next week. Have a great one.